and welcome back to Three at the Back. I am by myself today, but luckily I am joined via webcam by Max and Brandon.
Yo.
Hey guys, I'm back again.
So we were going to start today with, there's obviously been no Premier League football for any of our teams. They were all postponed this week. We also wanted to have a little talk about some comments that Chelsea's owner, Todd Boehly, spoke about this week. Do you want to tell us about that, Max?
Yeah, so I believe in an interview, Todd Boehly put forward the idea of a North versus South All-Star game like they do in the NBA. It's not gone down well with the rest of the league, as far as I'm aware. I mean, Steven Gerrard don't like it. Jurgen Klopp doesn't. Pep refused to speak on it.
He's not gone down very well with Jurgen Klopp at all. His comments are the ones that I keep seeing. He is not happy at all.
Well, he's never not moaning, is he? But
No.
yeah, I think with all joking aside, like I don't think it's a bad idea. It's something to look into and something to discuss, which is obviously what we're doing today.
Well, Brandon, what do you think of it? Because I'm opposed to it.
See, I feel like he's come on. I know obviously they do it in the NBA and whatnot. I just think it's different in the Prem. I just don't think you can do it. I just don't think it, because there's that rivalry. I just don't think it would work personally. It's something I don't want to happen. I don't want to get involved with, to be fair.
Yeah, I've got to say I'm not that big of a fan of the idea. Even at national, level, when we play the international friendlies and stuff, and all the Premier League teams are having their best players picked for England, there's still people that when that player underperforms, let's say it's Marcus Rashford for Man United, all the City fans are taking the piss. The issue is that I don't think you can put together an all-star team and have that kind of fan support that Todd Boehly really wants, like they have in the All-Stars.
No, I think as an idea to be discussed, I think it's fun. It's worth talking about because I mean, when we was in the process of deciding how to do today's video, me and you, Callum, had two completely separate ideas. You wanted more of a north-south actual game, whereas I was into actual all-stars. So people that were all-star caliber players, highlight capable players, playing against each other.
I think that's one of the biggest issues with the idea is that at the moment with the current landscape of the Premier League, if you did an All-Stars game like that was the best of the best, you would just have Liverpool and Man City players with the current, how well their teams are playing. So what we thought we'd do was have a little bit more fun. And the way we have decided, so what we've done today is we've created a North All-Stars team and a South All-Stars team, 11v11. But we've picked one player from each of the 10 North clubs and the 10 South clubs, plus a goalkeeper, which means one team will get 2 picks. And yeah, we're just going to have a little bit of fun and talk about what teams we think would play in this imaginary All-Stars scenario. Do you want to start us off with the South teams? Because we'll do the North second. The
North's going to be the best. Yeah, I think what we should do as well is if we say all our teams, and I think we should have a vote in the comments to see who has the best overall. Yeah,
absolutely fine by me. Do we all want to start with our goalkeeper and back line for the South team then?
Go on then, Max, you start us off.
The formation I've picked is a 3-4-3, and I know it's very it's not a fun formation. It's not. But the reason why I wanted to pick it was I feel like it's best distributed of the talent. You've got 3 defenders, 4 midfielders, 3 attackers. So at the back, I've gone Ramsdale and net, William Saliba, Dunk, and Bella Kotchap from Southampton.
Okay, do you want to talk me through any of those choices? The Southampton one to me sounds like I'd not got the Southampton player in yet. I just thought I'd go for it.
Yeah, so I mean, well, to be fair, I think Bella Kotchap's probably been one of Southampton's best players. He's got a Germany call up, so he's clearly. He's been noticed by somebody, and it is. I mean, the reason why I didn't like your idea of doing one player from each team, is because when I hear All Star, I don't think Bournemouth. I don't like. I mean, spoiler alert: I haven't picked Dominic Solanke, but out of Bournemouth's 11, who's an All Star quality player?
There's hardly anyone.
There's nobody.
I totally agree. I 100% agree. I just think, again, otherwise we wouldn't have a video today. We just go, Man City's back line, and we'll have maybe Man City's midfield, and we might have Liverpool's right winger and goalkeeper, but we'll keep the other of Man City's front line. It would have been quite boring. So.
No, yeah, I understand.
But on the thing of Bournemouth, I've got a Bournemouth player in my back line. So let me tell you what I've gone with. So I've gone with 4-3-3 formation, and I've also got Ramsdale in net. And then I have a centre-back pairing of Christian Romero from Tottenham and Thiago Silva from Chelsea. Right back, I've got Kevin Mbabu from Fulham, and then I've got Zamora, who is Bournemouth's left back, who got an assist this weekend. And I made the team before the weekend, so he's shown me why he deserves to be in this team.
Fair news. I mean, if you want to speak about Bournemouth, I have a Bournemouth fullback, and I also have a Southampton fullback in mine.
How interesting.
Indeed. So I've gone for the formation of 4-4-2. Nice and simple. I think we go back to basics for this.
Ball.
So yeah, 4-4-2 for the South. In that I've gone for Brighton's goalkeeper Sanchez. I like him. I like him a lot. I think obviously the go-to is probably Ramsdale, but I like Sanchez. I do like him. At right back I've gone Neco Williams, just because like I said, it's a Bournemouth player. I think everyone's got in the fantasy team as well. Just someone get in there.
Brandon, can I just stop you there, Chief? Neco Williams plays for Notts Forest.
Oh, sure.
God, dead ball knowledge.
Don't worry, I'll change it.
No.
I'll sorry. Don't worry.
Brandon, I don't care who you change it to. That is going in this video.
Oh, for God's sake, what an idiot. I can't believe that. I'm sorry.
He's had a nightmare.
Do you want me to go for mine now?
Yeah, if you're ready, mate.
If you've finally figured out who plays for Bournemouth.
Yeah, I have. Right, so take two. We'll start again. I can't believe I got that wrong. What an idiot. Anyway, so going back from the start, for myself, we're going for 4-4-2. We've got Sanchez in the net, as you know, Brighton. As you know, Neco Williams doesn't play for Bournemouth, so I've put Adam Smith in there. That's the right back done with. Bournemouth, as we've discussed, don't really have any all-star players, so there we go. But anyway, onto my centre-backs. I've gone for Kurt Zouma from West Ham, and I've also gone for Koulibaly from Chelsea. I just think that's a solid back two. And then for my left fullback, I've gone for Walker Peters from Saints.
Walker Peters is a very good shout. I tried getting him into mine, but it didn't really work out.
I think that's a big question, because I would obviously put Walker Peters as a right back traditionally, but I didn't know sometimes whether, hey, I might just be able to make the team a little bit better if I change this person, because there's no doubt he can definitely play the left back position.
Yeah.
So it's a good solution to the problem, yeah.
No,
Do you want to talk us through your midfield, Brandon, while you're at it?
Yeah, so obviously, as you know, it's 4-4-2, so we'll start on the right. I've gone for a weird one. I've got Fulham here, so I've got Willian, who's just signed for them. Put Willian at right mid. For my two midfielders, the first one is a player I really like, and that is Gross. I don't know how you want to say it. Grobe, I don't know. Brighton centre mid.
It's Gross, yeah.
Yeah, Gross. So I like him a lot, so I put him in there. And I've also got Decore from Palace. He's my other centre mid. Obviously someone who can drop back as well. And then finally the left midfielder is Son. So Son has obviously got some attacking play from Spurs.
Yeah, I'm going to follow on from you, Brandon, because there's some interesting points that kind of help with my midfield. So I also have Pascal Gross in my 4-3-3. I've got Pascal Gross, James Ward-Prowse and Declan Rice as a midfield three. I did at one point have Son in the team in a different formation, but it just, I think, made more sense to shore up my back line with Christian Romero in the end. But yeah, I think Declan Rice obviously is an absolutely solid CDM, even though West Ham have had a pretty poor start to the season. But like you, I'm very impressed with Pascal Gross as well. I mean, you saw what he did to Manchester United. So
yeah, I've loved him. I had him. I used to like him last year. Obviously, going back to the fantasy, I had him in all season, and I think I'll do the same this season. I really like him.
And Max, your midfield?
Yeah, so I'm starting at right wing back. Gone for none other than Mr. Reece James. This is my Bournemouth player. I've gone for Jefferson Lerma. And then Declan Rice pairing him in the midfield. And I've gone for Rico Henry at left wing back.
Yeah, I like Rico Henry. He gets forward a lot, and I knew that Reece James would be in your team 100%.
Yeah, I knew that would come in.
he was the guaranteed pick.
I really wanted to put Tony in because he's one of my favourite players, but I settled for Rico Henry just because there's another striker I needed to put in. It was a toss up between them two. Declan Rice is obviously a quality baller. Does it for England. Does it for West Ham. And I've seen, when I have watched Bournemouth this season, obviously they've been losing, but I think Jefferson Lerma is one of their better players, up there with Solanke, Kiefer Moore. So I had to go for somebody, and he's best out of a bad bunch for me personally.
So who's in the front line then if you had to get rid of Tony?
Yeah, so obviously 3 up top. From the right side, I've gone Dejan Kulusevski. On the left, I've gone Wilf Zaha, and up top, it's Alexander Mitrovic.
Oh, an interesting shout. An interesting shout.
So I've gone Zaha because, I mean, we're making an all-star team. He's a box office football, if you get what I'm saying.
I did want him in mine. I just couldn't get him in.
I've got him in my team. I have him in my front line as well. He's on my left wing.
Kulusevski made the jump so quick, and Mitrovic, I mean, I can't really say anything else, can I? I wanted Tony up there, but Mitrovic is just as good, if not better in some ways. It depends how your team plays, but for the sake of the video, I had to pick Mitrovic over Tony.
Well, I'll go next because you've actually mentioned all of my front three. So I've got Zaha on the left, I've got Saka on the right, and I've got Tony down the middle.
You've gone
all
Saka
those people
over.
that you debated thrown in, yeah. So I've got Saka on the right, Zaha on the left, Tony down the middle. That is my front three.
So obviously I've gone 4-4-2, so I've only got 2 strikers. I think I've gone for 2 out-and-out strikers that are showing this season as well. I've gone for Tony from Brentford. I think it is class for Brentford, and then obviously the final one, I think everyone knows it'll be Jesus from Arsenal.
I'm not going to argue with any of our teams. I'm just interested to know, did anyone else consider Ward-Prowse at any point?
No,
I'm the only person with him in, and I think he's a great midfielder.
He's one I looked at, and I just thought I feel like there's better people in that position for me in that South that I'd rather prefer over him. I know there's a big shout with obviously how he can do with free kicks and whatnot. I just personally I think there's better people I can put in there.
Okay, absolutely fine. Well, that was our teams from the South, and we'll move straight on to the North. Do you want to start us off, Max, with your backline and keeper?
Yeah, so I've switched it up. I've gone for a 4-3-3. And there's a reasoning behind some of my picks here. So I've gone Alisson in net. I've gone Matty Cash right back, Yerry Mina, Raf Varane, and Renan Lodi left back. So the fullback spots kind of went for something a bit more attacking. Renan Lodi, I know he's just joined from Atletico, but to come from such a big club and playing for Brazil too, I think he's still got bags of quality. The rest of my team doesn't really have a lot of height, so I've gone for a really big centre-back pairing. Rafael Varane, obviously we all know how good he is. And Yerry Mina, he was injured for a lot of last season, but I feel like he's still, even pre-injury when he was under Ancelotti, he was still quite a good player. Like a big, solid centre-back, really good in the air. Yeah. And then in net as well, I've gone Alisson. I think he's probably, in my opinion, I think he's the best one-on-one keeper in the world at the minute.
I'll be surprised if all three of us don't have Alisson.
Yeah.
I agree with your pick with Lodi. I've also got Renan Lodi at my left-back spot. And I've got Van Dijk and Connor Cody as my centre-back pairing. So Connor Cody being my Everton player, even though he's on loan at Wolves at the moment. But I thought if we're doing it from this season, I'm taking him. And I've got Timothy Castagna at right back from Leicester, who also, I think, got an assist in midweek. So another kind of player that seems to be paying off. And yeah, Alisson in net. I wanted that solid centre-back pairing and then some very attacking wing-backs, or full-backs, I should say. I think we've gone with a very similar idea.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's only me who's gone a little bit different. I've gone 5 at the back.
Defensive for the North team.
So yeah, I've gone 5 at the back. Obviously, Alisson in the goal. Like I said, amazing one-on-ones. At right wing back, I've gone from Luke Ayling at Leeds.
Okay,
I feel like
he was
play
a
that
good
position
player,
quite well.
a very good player last season.
Yeah, I know. I think he's a bit. Is he injured so far this season? I'm not sure, but I know. Yeah, I feel like he's quite good there. 3 centre backs though. I've gone for Boehly at Forest, who's just signed. I've also gone for Varane at United. I feel like he's starting to show himself. I've always liked him. I feel like he's starting to show himself. I've also gone for Virgil van Dijk from Liverpool. I just think solid. I need a solid defence really, because we all know North have got some really great attackers, so I need a solid defence. And then at left wing back, people could say he plays right back, but I've put Semedo from Wolves.
You really just want to put all your right backs at left back, don't you? It's okay, we'll let you off.
Well, I mean, he can play both, I guess. It's like a lot of people do nowadays.
To break the illusion of this video, can anyone tell that me and Max have been preparing our teams throughout the week, and Brandon didn't have his team until this morning, right before recording?
No, I had mine from about 6 o'clock last night. But it's like Cancelo can play left back and right back. A lot of people nowadays.
Yeah, because Cancelo's the
Yeah.
best fullback in the world, mate. There's a bit of difference between Cancelo and Semedo.
Look, when Wolves play Semedo at left back, then I'll come screaming to you. But I guarantee it'll happen this year.
Okay.
I'll take you up on a £5 bet on that if you want,
Yeah,
mate.
I'll happily
Yeah,
put.
I'll do that. I'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll move into my midfield. So the formation I've gone for is 4-2-3-1. So my midfield obviously split into two little parts. So in the CDM spots, I've got Ruben Neves from Wolves, Bruno Guimaraes from Newcastle. And there's the more attacking three. I've got Jack Harrison from Leeds on the left, Leon Bailey on the right, and Bruno Fernandes down the middle.
Go through those picks really quick.
Bruno Guimaraes is absolutely superb for Newcastle. He's really creative. Again, kind of like Declan Rice coming from that deep position. He's such a creative player. I wanted no other Newcastle player in. I know Alan St-Maximin's out there, but no, I really wanted Guimaraes in the team. Jack Harrison was another one that I knew I wanted him from Leeds. He's been absolutely superb recently. I think under Jesse March, he's looking even better than he did under Bielsa. Especially in the game against Chelsea, Harrison was absolutely brilliant. Leon Bailey from Aston Villa, I think, is one of the more obvious picks from Villa. They're kind of, at the moment, a Bournemouth team for me. They don't have anyone that really stands out to, want to put in your team. Coutinho's maybe underperforming from what you'd expect from a player of his calibre.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I considered Jacob Ramsey, but I don't think he's established enough yet. And then my kind of token pick from my team was Bruno Fernandes. I think obviously the guy's creative, and with who I've got up top, just the one striker, you want a creative player getting that ball into him.
With my midfield, once again, I think it's with my formation. So obviously I've got 5 at the back. I've only got kind of 2 midfielders because I put 3 up front. So my 2 midfielders, the first one is in Diddy from Leicester. He's more of like a CDM kind of role, I know that, but I feel like he's quite a good central mid, box-to-box kind of player. The other one that I've got is De Bruyne from City, just because I think everyone kind of would want him in his team, playing the balls forward. Obviously we know he can assist for days, so yeah, I had to go for De Bruyne there.
Well, it's really interesting you've gone for De Bruyne, because I think there's a more obvious Manchester City player that maybe 2 of us have picked. I don't know what Max has picked, but I did debate De Bruyne, but at the end of the day, I don't know if he's the man that I would pick if I only had one pick from City right now. And as for Ndidi, he's not really had the start to the season they'd want with how poor Leicester are playing, but...
No, I get that, but I think my striking choice is, I had to go for him. He's for me anyway, I think he's going to be amazing in the Premier. He's next under Haaland, so we'll get to that and obviously discuss it when we come to it. But yeah, I think De Bruyne were a no-brainer for me, really.
Yeah, so obviously with the 4-3-3, I've got 3 midfielders. I've gone for Ruben Neves from Wolves as a DM. I've gone from Brendan Aronson from Leeds. And then as a more attacking midfielder, I've gone for James Maddison. Ruben Neves, another player that's always been linked with a move away to a top club, but I think he's probably... I'd say he's Wolves' best player. He's in there holding down that holding midfielder role. Maybe more like a deep line playmaker, if you know what I mean. He's on ball ability. He's really good. His passing is too. Brendan Aronson's really shocked me with his work rate. We all take the mess out of Leeds a little bit for just being, the team that runs. But I think Jesse March has got playing some really, really good football. And then he's been a standout performer as well for them. And James Maddison, Leicester obviously having a horror year so far, but he's still been comfortably Leicester's best player. He's still banging goals and he's still contributing going forward. I don't think scoring goals for him is an issue. It's definitely conceding, but if he wasn't in that team, then I've got no idea where they'd be. No idea.
His goal for Leicester the other day was absolutely superb. I don't know how much he meant it, but looping that into the kind of left side of the goal was quite superb. Okay, do you want to move on to your attacking options as well, Max?
Yeah, sure. So my front 3, off the left I've got Alan St-Maximin. Off the right I've got Mohamed Salah, and down the middle Erling Haaland. Salah, I think if we're going off form, he wouldn't make this team at all. But the fact he's still got that quality in him, and he's definitely still top 3 winger in the league. Another shout I can't really not have in. And Erling Haaland speaks for itself. I mean, it's an all-star team. I don't know how you can think of a team and not put him in, regardless of how many picks per team you have, whether you have one, whether you have two. You have to put him in.
As good as he is, I'm still not. I still feel like De Bruyne for me was the one, and I feel like my strikers. I'm not saying obviously no one's better than Haaland at the moment. He's ridiculous, but when you've got 1 point from City got that many players. I just think Haaland was a go-to, but there's other good strikers there at the moment.
Well, have a quick guess who my one striker is.
Is it?
Obviously, I've put Haaland in. Yeah, I agree with Max. I don't think there was any competition for that spot. When you've got a player like Bruno Fernandes in this team that I've got that can, he's not Kevin De Bruyne by any stretch of the imagination, but he's a really creative midfielder. He'd be another person that could get that ball into Haaland. I don't see the need to omit Haaland from an all-stars team. The man is incredible.
Fair enough. We'll go into mine
Brandon.
then.
What are your dodgy picks?
So, I've got like a left forward, a right forward, and a striker. So on the left forward, I've got Demarai Gray from Everton. I feel like he's been alright this season, quite fast, looking well. But on the right, I've gone for Leon Bailey from Villa. Another pacey player. But up front, I've my kind of go-to was Isaac from Newcastle. I think. Yeah, I like him. He's something, obviously, he's come from La Liga. I guess he's kind of yet to show his fully footing, but I'm not saying he's better than Haaland, I'm not saying that, but I still think Isaac is a good shout, and if De Bruyne's playing passes through to him, he'll score them all day. No, I'm not going to say everyone's going to go for Haaland. You can't.
Yes, because he's an all-star.
Okay,
We're making an all-star team.
I'm not arguing.
But still.
I'm not arguing with Isaac. He's been good. He's got 2 goals now for Newcastle. He's had a decent start. He looks dangerous, and I'm sure he's going to get a few more this season. I think actually my bigger question might be, you went for Demarai Gray over Anthony Gordon on the left.
Yeah, I don't like Anthony Gordon, that's why.
No one likes Anthony Gordon, but he's a good player.
Simple as that.
no one likes him, but he's a good player. He winds up people. He scores goals. He's an annoying piece of shit. Like, that's what he is. Get even you two.
No, I don't like him. So that's why. That's personal preference, and I don't care. I don't care if I'm being biased. I just don't like him.
I actually love that. That's class.
Okay, well, that was our North and South All-Star teams.
I think that's definitely up for some debate. Some questionable picks, I must say, from definitely both of you either. So don't take that personally, but. I'm hearing some picks and I'm like, there are our teams. Debate in the comments, and we'll leave it there for today.
Oh, well, that's exactly what I was going to say. Please tell us who has the better teams, because I think we all might, other than Brandon, be confident in our own teams. But yeah.
I'm confident. Why are you ruling me out? Why are you ruling me out?
She didn't have it picked until like 6 p.m. last night. That's why.
I don't get it.
You still got it wrong.
It's actually good. You two have got the exact same teams and you've copied each other.
Yeah, Neco Williams, Bournemouth, best player, yeah.
No chance. Mine
Sound.
are actually decent. Mine are decent.
It's a genuine shame that I don't get the choice in what we call these videos, because I send them off to you, because I would just call it 3 at the Back episode 4. Neco Williams is Bournemouth's best player? Question mark, exclamation mark.
I'll do that. I'll put it as that.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's going to be the video title then.
There we go.
Because it's clickbait. It's a clickbait title, so we can just get reeling more views.
I can't believe I said that though. Like, what were I even thinking?
Nothing, apparently. So thank you for watching. This was 3 at the Back episode 4, and we'll see you again next week.